do also note that there are dark forces out there.
Is there another agenda at play?
That there are dark forces out there.
Is there another agenda at play?
The deep state. They got me. The deep state.
Is there another agenda at play?
All right. Now, ladies and gentlemen, and everything in between. Welcome, welcome. Welcome back to another episode of Aid Thompson and other disappointments. People, viewers, listeners, how are we doing? Are we good? Are we surviving? Are we thriving? Have we enjoyed or endured the week that has been? If it's your first time tuning in, perhaps if you found me on Far Right Watch, if you happened across the midweek shows or the Clips channel or any of the other stuff that I put out, and you're here for the first time for the Friday Night Live thing, welcome. Pull up a pew, grab yourself a tipple, pour yourself a wine, whatever it is that you do to self-medicate your way through the nonsense, the awfulness that we are all forced to, endure. We've got Sarah Davies in the live chat. How you doing, Sarah? Can I have your autograph? She says, for £2. All right. It's the first time I've been asked for that, but fine. Yeah, okay. £2 is the going rate, is it? For an autograph? Fine. I mean, that's more than I would have imagined. It's more than the bid I would have put forward for it. But yes, welcome to the Friday Night Thang, guys. The live show in which we try to make sense of the senseless and, of news and politics, dystopia, and all things awful. Awful things like the Doomsday scientists this week, guys, moved the big hand one little bit closer to midnight. I don't know if you guys saw that. Some sort of committee of scientists that look into these things and sort of establish risks and humanity and what's likely to finish us all off and all of that. They said that between AI and the risks thereof, World War III, I guess meaning Putin or, China, whatever, and climate change, they said that the future of humanity is looking bleaker than it ever has done. So that's pretty awful. If we were looking for awful things, then that would fit comfortably within that bracket. Awful things like Nick Jonas, guys, is about to release another album. Don't know how excited you all are about that. That's happening. That's a thing that's happening. Awful things like Scary Movie 6 Tokyo Drift Origins, or whatever the fuck they're calling it. That's a new movie. It's new. It's a new movie. It's an old idea that's being rehashed again for the millionth time. Scary Movie 6 is... God, why is everything so shit now? Why is everything... at least we got the Melania documentary, haven't we? Like, at least we've got the Melania doc.
Here we go again.
You can come in. Don't worry. My proudest legacy will be that.
Beautiful.
At least we have that, don't we? The Melania documentary was released this week. The First Lady, Melania Trump, was offered an exclusive Vanity Project documentary about her. Produced by Amazon, MGM, owned by Jeff Bezos, of course. One of the many attendees around that long dinner table with all the billionaires all sort of trying to charm Trump. Please don't regulate us. Please don't regulate us. That whole thing. Anyway, Amazon and Jeff Bezos, they've managed to give us something that critics and fans alike are calling a 120-minute documentary. That's what they're calling it accurately. That's all that most people can bring themselves to say about it. That's vaguely positive. Is the criticism that she's facing for this, is it, bordering on abusive? Perhaps? Is it too hostile? Are there layers of possible misogyny at play here? Yeah, maybe. Maybe there are. Maybe there are, certainly in some quarters of the interwebs. But when faced with the possibility that I, personally, may have engaged in what some of that has, been directed at the First Lady, I can only bring myself to utter, I really don't care, do you? Straight back at her, because that was a jacket that she wore. Do you remember that? Does that work? Little Melania Trump reference for you there? No? Okay, good. Anyway, the documentary, guys, people, listeners, viewers, the documentary produced by her, she's produced it herself, cost a whopping $40 million. Guys. Yuri's in the chat. He says, I'm so happy that Nick Jonas is releasing an album. I almost dropped a log. I miss those days when I could still reach that level of happiness that I inadvertently shit my pants. That's a special form of joy that I'm currently unfamiliar with. Cheers, by the way. Anyway, so it's cost $40 million. $40 million. Which is an obscene amount of money for a documentary. And then $35 million on top of that for the marketing costs. And just for context, like maybe you're thinking, yeah, well, I mean, it's the Trumps. It's the, it's Hollywood. They spend a lot of money on this sort of stuff. Just in case that's you, just for context, documentaries are, it's not Hollywood blockbuster territory. The Beckhams documentary, which you may have seen last year, that cost $8 million. Okay? $8 million to produce that. And there's two of them for the moment. We'll see how many of the Beckhams are ostracised and ejected from their clan by the end of 2026. But for now, there was two of them in that documentary. The Diddy documentary, that cost $5 million. So it did. So this at $40 million, that is 8 times the budget of a regular comparable documentary. 8 times the budget. What do you need to spend that money on? $40 million. And you got these producers and voiceover guys going like, it's time to get to know the real Melania. I'm like, I can help you do that. For fucking $2 million. I'd do it for $2 million. Just roll the cameras. I'd just be like, yeah, she's a gold digger with the green card. Where's my check? Case closed. I've cracked it. Cracked the case. So I have. And it's out this week, and some people are saying, not me, obviously, but some people are saying it is the bigliest box office disappointment for cinema since those people got murdered in the Aurora Theatre Batman mass shooting. But I didn't say that. I said some people are saying that. Some people are saying that it's the saddest thing to happen in cinema since my Uncle Fred passed away in the middle of beaches on a Monday night in Slough. I read earlier this week that some Leicester Square cinema, it's not really a world that I'm super familiar with, where premieres are and all of that, or how many people you should expect to see at a premiere. But I read earlier this week that it was a Leicester Square cinema, or like Piccadilly Circus kind of way, somewhere central London where they do all of these premieres. They did the premiere this week, and it was like two seats were taken for this movie, this big documentary release. 2 seats. I've had fringe shows that were more popular than that. $30 million on marketing, and he managed to get 2 people in. $30 million for that. Nobody went to it. Nobody wanted to go, even for free, to the premiere. Even after $30 million. Like, I would have gone to it. I would have, if they had marketed it better. Like, for me. If they had, sorry, I almost replayed the trailer there. If they'd marketed a little bit better with that $30 million, so like sarcastically, if they'd said something like renamed it, if they'd said, Melania, I get to live in a palace and all it cost was my soul and my pussy, I would have gone. I would have got to go see that. I would have been like, that sounds funny. That sounds hilarious. Let's go see it, I would have said. But yes, 2 tickets. 2 bloody tickets for Melania at a Leicester Square Theatre premiere, on the premiere night. Leicester Square Theatre cinema type place. And I don't know if you caught my post on Blue Sky about it. Like the last couple of days I've been, mauling it. Mercilessly mauling it. But I was saying, because of where Leicester Square is, Piccadilly Circus, like the big cinemas there are, like they're right in the arse end of Soho in London. So I mean, can you really rule out that the 2 tickets that were sold weren't just two drunk guys who were sort of walking through Soho and sort of lost their way, like got a little bit confused, and then ended up fucking around and paying money to see an Eastern European new girl called Melania for 2 hours, only £30, only 30, and we could both go in. And they say, oh, what a fucking bargain for this new girl. So yes, Melania, guys. Melania, the documentary is out now. Definitely go and see it. I know I will. Anyone in the live chat planning on going to see Melania at their local Cineplex thing? I mean, it might not be that bad. It might be all right. Like, it's produced and directed by Brett Ratner. By the way, I don't know if did I mention that a few weeks ago? I feel like I might have done. Do people in the live chat remember who Brett Ratner is? He did the Rush Hour movies, if you don't. He was a director behind the Rush Hour movies. Jackie Chan, Chris Tucker. Horrible Bosses with Jennifer Aniston was one of his also. Prison Break, one of his TV shows. Big budget, very popular stuff. Like, Brett Ratner had hits! So he did. Back in his Hollywood days. X-Men, he did an X-Men movie. One of the Hannibal Lecter movies I found out earlier. But if you're wondering how somebody so successful could wind up filming the fucking Justin Bieber My Life tour diary of this fucking idiot, just following Melania around. How a Hollywood director of that caliber could wind up basically just facilitating a bribe from Bezos. I mean, that's what he's doing. He's facilitating. He's a middleman. He's allowing Bezos to pay the Trumps $40 million. Maybe you're thinking, well, you don't just go from Hollywood royalty to MAGA directly, do you? No. Of course not. You got to make a quick detour on the way, haven't you? A quick reroute. If you go Hollywood to MAGA. So Brett Ratner, high flyer that he was, got shithoused by Me Too allegations a few years back. Of course he did. Oh, it's a perfect trajectory, isn't it? When one woman accused him of following her into a change room and jerking off. That's what he allegedly did. Followed a aspiring actress, an unnamed aspiring actress. I think model as well, was it? Remember, he doesn't serve at the moment. He followed her in there and started jerking off, and somebody else saw him do this as well and sort of verified the story. Another 3 women accused him of harassment, sexual assault, and full-blown rape. So it's triple threat is Brett Ratner, allegedly. And this is the director of it. This is who's made this fucking thing. Forget how terrible the movie is. Forget the bribe layers to it. The fact it's Donald Trump, it's an obvious grift. This is who's made the film. This is who they've contracted in. Because Weinstein's still in jail. I mean, I presume that's the only reason why they didn't get fucking Harvey Weinstein to do it. Otherwise, he would have been a shoo-in. Or fucking Roman Polanski. Like, just whoever. Whoever will do this for us. So, yes, Brett Ratner, celebrity Me Too survivor of sorts, has done the old Russell Brand career move, hasn't he? The old MAGA pivot is what he's done. And he, of course, joins many other falling stars, fooling no one. Gwen Stefani has gone very MAGA. Nicki Minaj now. Don't know if you saw her this week. Russell Brand, obviously. We talk about him quite a lot. Dean Cain is another one. And now Brett Ratner. Like, I was thinking earlier, we're probably not that far away now from all of these people getting together and just starting their own network. Start their own studio, their own production house, or something. All of the victims of cancel culture, the victims of free speech getting cancelled and all of that, or sexual assault, like wrong and accusation. Like, all of them just get together, they can start their own. We're probably not that far away from it, are we? Throw a Kevin Spacey in here, Harvey Weinstein in over there. Maybe Roseanne could get involved. Of course, Roseanne's got to get involved. A couple of seasons of Hercules, that fucking idiot as well. He went MAGA, didn't he? Like, you could almost fill out a full-on schedule, like a TV schedule of airline TV shows is probably what you could, or like put it on cable TV, like American cable TV. Just MAGA TV, MAGA television, Freebird television, or, something. Home of the freedom and liberty and Abercrombie and Fitch commercials. And like Bud Light and American Eagle jeans and all of that. Like, has it happened yet? It wouldn't shock me if it has happened. Is there such a thing as like Freedom TV or something? It won't be long if they haven't done that. Must be 15 hours a day of carefully curated government-approved broadcasting that the retirees of Texas and Florida can willfully and voluntarily consume through their eyeballs. Trump-approved messaging. Just drink it down with that Bud Light, guys. Absorbing the Kim Jong-un broadcasting network of the United States. His propaganda and shit. It's coming, I promise you. Of course, the wild thing about that would be that it's, you know, it would obviously be very Republican flavoured, right? And thus supportive of the free market. But history tells us that when people exercise their consumer right to walk away from a product, and this new television network would probably be a colossal disaster, but history tells us that when people walk away from a product because it doesn't interest them, be that Twitter, Trump's birthday brigade thing that he had, or the 2020 election results, right? if people show how they feel in the free market and it adversely affects this lot, then these same people, they then magically do not accept the numbers. It must be lies. It's got to be a cover-up. You know, when it's in their favour, it's the free market. When it's in yours, it's rigged. It's a conspiracy. Is how it seems to go, isn't it? Anyway, so that's all been fun. Seeing the Melania documentary fail and falter. I suppose, like all the same people who said that there was 3 million people on that Tommy March, I suppose they will all be out soon saying that Melania documentary actually grossed this amount. And it was, well, I went to it and it was full. Like, there'll be loads of like anecdotal stuff on X if you're still on there. I did see somebody's post earlier that made me laugh. Somebody put up a thing saying that even though it's got a shit ton of bad press, the one accolade that it has won is the FIFA Best Documentary Oscar. FIFA are going to give it the Best Documentary Oscar, so you know it's good. You know it's good. You know, maybe the rest of us have all got it wrong. I mean, they obviously know their stuff, right? Anyway, yeah, so whatever it is, or isn't, I hope you will all join me now as I take a bit of pride in the realisation, having wasted the last, 20 minutes rabbiting on about the Melania documentary for a politics show. I mean, I promise you it is, like, normally we talk about politics a little bit. But join me now as I take a little bit of pride in the realisation that if it is accurate that they only sold 2 tickets in Leicester Square, and, you know, various View cinemas have reported that they've cancelled a shitload of screenings owing to huge lack of interest, then it is actually now accurate to say that this show that we're on now, this show is... How many people have we got? Concurrent viewers, it says 98. We got 98 viewers here. I mean, that's more than 2, isn't it? That's more. This show here tonight, guys, with its 98 people watching, this show is now officially bigger than Melania, guys. We fucking did it. We did it, guys. It happened here tonight, people. 8 Thompson. Bigger than Melania. I do have a couple of other like little tidbits about this because it really has, you know, it's provoked some amusement from me, from yours truly. I can tell you some other stuff that I've found out about this this documentary. I mean, I'm sort of turning this show into a Melania doc like reaction vid, aren't I? Don't know if that's great content, you know, and then fucking hours post-match analysis of the worst movie of all time. Fucking, oh yeah, that'll get the viewers in 8. Great. Anyway, you know a fun thing that I found out about the documentary. I mean, are you interested? Would you like me to reel off this? Come on, guys. Come on. Fake it. Pretend that you want to hear this stuff. Otherwise, I'll go through it twice. Well, on top of the obscene budget, on top of the obscene budget, I found that none of the numbers actually add up on it. Because earlier today, on my lunch break, I was trying to work out why they would make this. Like, for what reason? To whose benefit is this thing? Like, yes, it looks a bit shit. Looks a bit ridiculous. A bit ego-y. Bit whitewash, right? But so do a lot of things that people make, and they make money, right? So is there some way that this is explainable as a legitimate business venture for Amazon MGM, who commissioned and produced it and are distributing it or rolling it out, whatever? And here's what I found. So normally when these big production houses start the thought showers, the exchanging of ideas for new movies, like, oh, we should make a thing about this, or, you know, has anybody got a contact that might be interested in writing a thing about that? Normally they would be like, you know, is this, if we're going to make a democracy, a documentary, if we're going to make a documentary, who is it about? Is the person a big hitter? Do people care about this person and their backstory and what they're really like behind the curtain? Will this person... Is there enough intrigue and interest there for it to bring in bums on seats? Will they sell tickets? And the answer to this one, Melania, is no. Not really. Not to be mean about it, but Melania Trump is... not really a mass market draw in that regard. Like, she's not Prince Harry. She's not the Beckhams. She's just Trump's surviving wife, isn't she? That's what she is. She's Trump's survive. She's Erica Kirk's future wing woman. That's what Melania Trump is. Like, I was saying this thing earlier on the week. I think I put it on Threads. I was just like, look, if you think Erica Kirk's like widow era has been tasteless and crass, you have got nothing. She hasn't got shit on Melania. As soon as Golf Cart Mugabe snuffs it, Melania is going to be making loot. Oh, of course she is. Anyway, that's who Melania is. She's Trump's surviving wife. But commercially, what she is a sort of, you know, a niche person of interest, right? She's the person next to the person who people are actually interested in. And, you know, again, I'm not trying to be mean when I say this. What I mean is, like, you know, who is the likely ticket buyer? Who is actually... People tend to be interested in what Trump is doing and what Trump is saying. They're not overly interested in the person that's next to him, be that J.D. Vance or Melania Trump. So who is buying... Like, who's a likely ticket buyer to go and see this, apart from the two men in Soho? Who is buying tickets to Melania? Guys. And I sort of thought about this for a minute. Strategizing. Who's making money out of this? Who benefits from this documentary? And I came to this, right? So I was like, it's really only going to be mostly in America, right? And within America, it's really only going to be conservative Americans. So that's like 50% of the country in the bin straight away. Only conservative Americans are going to bother paying money to go and watch a film about this lady. And even then, like, so you cut off like half, and then you got this lot here. Even then, you need to find the subset of conservative Americans who hate immigrants less than paying $20 to go to the cinema. So, I mean, it's another subset. It's another chunk in there. So it's Americans cut into conservatives, cut into the ones that can handle a movie with subtitles, because obviously it's going to have subtitles to it. And then, if we're honest, probably again you need to like hive off another load of them, because it would need to be women within that chunk, if we're honest about it. Because the redneck guys in that conservative lot, the redneck guy, you know, the sexist, misogynist guys, or the redneck guys in the logging yards who spend all their day watching MAGA TV, I don't think they really give a shit about Melania living her best life. I don't think they care. I don't think they're going to sign up or like queue up for the tickets either. So if it was you, guys, viewers, listeners, people of the booch, imagine it was you and you were producing a movie and it's not mass market, it's niche as fuck. Is only of interest to this sliced up, tiny little chunk of people in America, really. You know, I mean, maybe some of her close friends and family back in Slovenia might check it out when it comes out on DVD. But it's a massive budget. Think about a tiny amount of people and then this massive budget for this niche, tiny little audience. It just doesn't make sense, guys. Doesn't add up. And so then you think, you know, well, what other reason might they have for this? You know, not every movie has to make $1 billion aid. Sometimes it's a labour of love. Sometimes they don't really make any money at the box office, but they just want to make a shit ton of money on merchandise. But nobody's going to be buying this shit, are they? Nobody's going to be buying the I don't really care, do you jacket off the back of this, probably. And then you think, well, maybe they just want awards, you know? Maybe that's what it is. Maybe they just want to reframe Amazon MGM as a serious production house here in January, which is, of course, prime for award season. No pun intended, Jeff. But no, obviously, you know, this is not going to win awards, is it? Except the FIFA one. So I was like, you know, when you rule out all of these other routes and reasons and drivers for why they might make this fucking movie, like, it's just, you're left with nothing. You know what I mean? It really is obvious, isn't it? Like, if there's no credibility, benefit for doing it, and there's no financial benefit to do it, like it's lost a fucking, like, tens of millions of dollars. It's cost, like, what did I say? Like $40 million budget and 35 for the thing. So best part of $70 million. And it's they reckon $2 million in the opening weekend. Like, it's fucked. It's in the toilet. It's in the toilet, guys. So what other incentive could there be? I mean, really, this is just another, like, Qatari golden jet, isn't it? That's all this is. What else could it be? What else could it be? Here you go, like $40 million. Is that cool? You won't regulate us. You won't tax us. You won't regulate if I give it $40 million. Oh, thank you, Donny. Thank you. Like, it's the obviousness that gets you, isn't it? The burden of being able to see this bullshit for what it is. You know? See another story like this and you're just like, oh God, you know, stop the world. I want to get off. You know, crack me open a beer and let me push the doomsday clock hand just like a little bit closer to apocalypse. Right. Let's move off of Melania. I think we've done enough of Melania now, haven't we? What else has been going on? People in the live chat, people at home, people on Spotify. What else has been happening? Keir Starmer's been in China this week. Don't know if you guys are up to speed on Keir Starmer's movements. Flying over to Beijing. It's pretty funny, I thought. Who remembers when he was in opposition? Not that long ago, right? A couple of years ago, and he was criticising Rishi Sunak, wasn't he? For flying round the world, begging for trade deals, going dictator to dictator, cap in hand. That's what he said about Rishi Sunak. Only a couple of years ago. That's what he said. His words. He said he shouldn't be flying around the world begging for trade deals, going dictator to dictator, cap in hand. Well, in the last 12 months, we have seen him go from Saudi Arabia, shaking hands with the journalist butcherer, MBS, over there. We've seen him go picking up papers for SS Commander-in-Chief Donald Trump, giving him a fucking, beach and a banquet. And now we're over in Beijing doing a lap dance with President Xi. A lap dance for Asian businessmen from the British Prime Minister is what is going on. A Prime Minister shouldn't be flying around the world going from dictator to dictator, cap in hand, begging for trade deals. Yeah, no, he probably shouldn't. Probably shouldn't, should he, Keir? Now, where are you off to now, mate? It's got a 3 o'clock swap meet with Idi Amin. Okay, good stuff. Like I was thinking earlier, guys. I was thinking earlier how kind of none of it matters really anymore, does it? In terms of like growth, GDP, trade deals. Who have we got a trade deal with on the horizon? Will the Indian trade deal give us what we need, etc., etc.? Because, bringing it back to Bezos for a moment, our good friend Jeff. Amazon made $57 billion last year. $57 billion in profit. After tax, although, when you say after tax with regards to, Bezos and Amazon, it just feels sarcastic, really, doesn't it? Like $57 billion. But by spring this year, they will have shredded 30,000 jobs from their global workforce, just hemorrhaging. They just, we don't need you anymore because of AI, automation, this, that, and the other. But it's the 57 billion that's going to be reported and will contribute to the US's GDP figures, isn't it? It's the US growth figures that people are going, the NASDAQ has never been so high, and the GDP, we're back to 4.75% growth. It's that stuff that people are going to talk about. Is the president successful? Well, what's the growth like? That's the conversation. So when people say, we've got to attract investment, or, we want the best of Silicon Valley startups to invest in Britain's booming technology markets, all of that stuff. I'm reaching the point now where I'm like, yeah, but what's the point, though? Like lifting GDP by, 0.7%, which is fucking, what even is that? 0.7%. That would make Starmer's year. They'd be so happy with it. But even that, lifting it by 0.7% growth on top of whatever piddly amount it is at the moment, that would be all well and good for the Treasury, for the politicians, for the companies that are making the profit. But where is that money actually going? Like in Amazon's case, where is the $57 billion going over in the States? They only increased, I looked into this earlier, they only increased their workers' wages by inflation last year. It's not like the workers are all having a great payday. Oh, Amazon are doing amazing. Oh, how much money did you make? Absolutely fucking nothing. Oh, well, fucking score. Go capitalism. They only increased their workers' wages by inflation. It's maddening. And then they sacked 30,000 others. It's infuriating. They flew Katy Perry up into space. And they let her come back down again. That's unforgivable. So it is. We need to look out for this stuff, man. The growth, the obsession with growth and GDP and billions of dollars and how high the NASDAQ is. And the next time you see somebody talking about corporate profits and, GDP or 4% growth or whatever in the US, we'll never get to 4% again, I don't imagine. But next time somebody talks about growth or GDP, I think you should tell that person to shut the fuck up and look at the unemployment rate. I think that's You know, and benefit claimants' numbers, are they going up? And food bank usage, is it going up? Because I was looking at this like earlier in the week. The US growth rate has gone up and up and up, like every year, with the exception of COVID, such as the benefit of having the world's reserve currency, I suppose. But unemployment in the US is 50% higher now than it was in 2020. Like it's just gone down like a little bit. It was just reported like a couple of weeks ago, but it's still way up on where it used to be. Job creation over there is at its slowest pace since the pandemic closed everything. And, you know, this is the future that we're all careering towards. It's like, you know, the finance press and the banking press and the ITV News or like the Trump administration, everybody going like, isn't it amazing how Nvidia and Meta are AIing us to growth while you starve in your fucking POV den? Eating your rat burger. That's where we're headed. You're going to be eating your rat burger in your POV den that you barbecued on a overheated Intel chip that you can barely afford to keep running with its rechargeable batteries that you plugged in a train station waiting room for 3 hours. That's where we're headed, people. Starving fucking people waving their stars and stripes flags or like Union Jack flags, cheering on their favourite capitalism team, devouring their rat burger. Like that guy out of Demolition Man. Do you remember that? Where Sylvester Stallone goes underground and that's where like all of the people, the really, really poor people live. And there's that one guy played by Dennis Miller. I mean, it's basically Dennis Miller. He's just playing himself. But he sort of, you know, he rejects this new world, doesn't he? He lives in the sewer with the rest of his ilk, of his tribe, his people. They live in the sewer and they eat rat burgers, ranting about freedom. Well, that, ladies and gents, that's... I was like, well, welcome to the future. That's where we're headed. Okay, let's lighten it up a little bit, shall we? What time is it? How are we doing for time? It's almost 8:15 at time of recording, people. Let's lighten it up. Normally I would do a weird news story around this time, you know, round it off with a positive news story. This time I thought I'd bring an old feature back. Long-time listeners and viewers will remember that we used to do a little segment on here called Tap Dancing Tossers. And the idea was we'd sort of imagine me kind of like handing over a statuette. And it is award season, right? Remember? There's only one FIFA Oscar for Best Documentary, so, you know, we've got to dish out some of these. But we'd hand over an awards statuette of a tap dancing tosser to somebody that I felt deserved it. In my mind, I'm imagining this sort of statuette is a sort of cross between Stan Laurel, you know, and like Mr. Tumble, maybe. It's a little gold statue in my mind. And it's a highly prestigious award, this one, that we give to people, as I say, people whom I believe have performed their bellandry this week, in the last week, to such an unmatched standard. That we need to, it's award-winning, okay? That's a Tap Dancing Tosser Award. We're bringing it back tonight, guys. Now, this week we could have, couldn't we? We could have given it to Professor Matt Goodwin, who is the Reform Party's candidate for that by-election up north. I forget the name of the constituency now. But yes, he's going to represent this sort of Manchester satellite constituency, having previously talked shit about Manchester on Twitter. So that's pretty funny. But we talked about Matt Goodwin a few times before. In some ways, it's just sort of obvious. He performs his bellandry every week, so it would feel like I was sort of wasted gifting of the award. We could have also handed it to comedian and podcaster Andrew Schultz. I don't know if you guys are familiar with him. He's a sort of little Rogan type figure, isn't he? Comedian and podcaster. Has sort of right-wing sensibilities. He had members of the Trump administration on his show ahead of the last general election. He's a mini Rogan, okay? You get the idea. He shopped your boy Donny to his millions of viewers, and now he's out here this week giving it the whole, I didn't vote for this stuff. And everyone's like, you did, though. He's getting roasted hard on the socials this week. Everyone's like, you did vote for him. You did vote for this. You literally said that you voted for him. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? He said he was going to do this. You turned your own show into a fucking advert for him. Few people have done more to promote the idea of voting for this than you, Andrew. There are promoters of the Melania film who are like, can we get Andrew Schultz? Get Melania onto Andrew Schultz? Like, that's how well you promoted him. You're about one sex scandal away from doing this on MAGA TV, Andrew. So it could have been Matt Goodwin, could have been Andrew Schultz. But no, this week's Tap Dancing Tosser Award, guys, goes to the boys from Trigonometry, guys. Friends of the show that they are. The boys from Trigonometry. The end of the pier double act. I always imagine them as. They're like a sort of, cannon and ball kind of vibe, aren't they? They're like hail and pace. But for the right-wing social media echo chamber age. The boys from Trigonometry. Francis Foster and Constantine Kissin are their names. Cheeky little double act of a right-wing persuasion. In a different era, I think they would have had a Saturday night show on ITV or something, wouldn't they? The two of them. Constantine and Francis. Bezzy Buds. Francis is the cheeky chappy one. Constantine's like the straight man. And, Constantine would welcome on a contestant. Francis is the sort of more affable one. He would explain the rules of the game, maybe crack a little joke about the shirt that the contestant was wearing. Or, you get the idea. They get a game show segment out of the way, and then they break. There's a quick performance by the Sugar Babes or something. They do their new single, a couple of funny sketches, and then boom, you're all set for the ITV Diet Coke movie premiere of Backdraft that night. They're just born in the wrong era. That's it. Just born in the wrong era. God bless them. And so now, in absence of those opportunities, in absence of being able to host their own ITV Saturday night variety show, this is what happens. Is they get into the alt-right or failed comedian to alt-right kind of pipeline, end up pivoting to, sort of MAGA, Faragian kind of thing. They have really just pivoted. They've just gone straight over to that. I don't think anyone's suggesting that these two have done a Russell Brand or a Brett Ratner to end up then resorting to the radicalised right, terminally online people. But I do think that it's interesting that it's maybe a lack of comedic success that's seen them propelled into hysteria about immigration and, culture war rubbish online to build a following. Maybe it's worse that there is no sex scandal behind them driving all of this. Maybe that's actually worse. If you followed a beautiful model into her changing room with your dick out on the off chance that maybe, 4% chance, very tiny chance, maybe she sees your beautiful dick and she goes oh my God, that is just beautiful. Do you mind if I just, maybe that happens. 4% chance. On the off chance that happens, maybe it's worth rolling the dice on your reputation, your career, your family's livelihood. And, maybe ending up having to resort to putting out content that the knuckle draggers will pay to see, or not, as the case may be. But imagine doing that pivot for free. Imagine there's no aspiring model or actress. There's no chance, not even 4%. It's just you in a change room, shrugging to yourself, going like, maybe I'll try being a bellend for a bit. In some ways, it's worse, isn't it? I hope I'm never on a bill with them again, like doing comedy. It's going to get really awkward if I get booked on the same bill as them. Or even worse, like a panel discussion about something about politics and how we need to return to civility, whatever. And it's like, it's this thing over here is putting up the temperature a bit, and this thing over here is amplifying. Everything's so bloody volatile, and then I have to sit next to Constantine kissing, and he's like, you keep talking about dialing down the temperature a little bit, Aid, but didn't you at one point on your show, didn't you say I was worse than a sex offender? Well, I may have said that. Anyway, so this here, right, let me play you this. This is the reason that Constantine Kissin, specifically, forget Francis for a minute, this is the actual reason that Constantine Kissin gets the tap dancing tosser award, is because they dug up his old words on a panel and they threw it back at him. Are you ready? Here we go.
When Fraser Nelson put it to you that Rishi Sunak is absolutely English,
I said he's
what
British.
did you reply?
I said he's British.
You said he's a brown Hindu.
No, that's
How
not what I
is
said.
he
I said
English?
he's British.
He's a brown Hindu. How is he English? He's a brown Hindu. How is he English?
I've watched that about 5 times today. I'm just like, yeah, okay. Good stuff, Constantine. Credible. Integrity. So yeah, he's on Question Time. The Scottish guy pulls out the quote. Says whatever it was. What did he say? When Fraser Nelson put it to you that Rishi Sunak is absolutely English, you said he's a brown Hindu. Can't do the accent. Constantine is like, no, I said he was British. And as sure as night follows day, as sure as empty cinema seats follow the release of Melania, people dig out the clip, and he does say it. Fraser Nelson says Rishi Sunak is English, and then Constantine Kissin says he's a brown Hindu. In what way is he English? And it's just so slam dunk there, isn't it? Demonstrably wrong. He's being dishonest. He's exposed. Will he learn from it? Can he feel shame? Looking a bit silly? Looking like he lied? Will it cause him to reevaluate his obsession with immigration? Absolutely not. And we know that because in response to this exposure, this flogging is really what it is, isn't it? He's not looking at the inconsistency of those two clips. Like, well, why am I calling him a brown Hindu? Let me self-examine. Let me play with that idea. Why was it important to me to suggest that he wasn't English and that he was just a brown Hindu? Do I now think that Rishi Sunak is or could be English? Is that why I said I would never say that? Or that I said that he was British? Did I then think differently? If I did think differently then, but now I think differently, like, dude, is it possible? Let's play with the idea a little bit. Is it possible to be English if you're born in England? Let me play with that. Oh, that is a thinker. Is it possible to be culturally English? despite having foreign parents. Should I reevaluate what that does to the whole sort of cultural integration hotel bollocks thing, riot, protesting that I'm always fucking anger wanking over? If not an aspiring actress in a change room. Is he self-evaluating or re-exploring any of his beliefs off the back of this? No, of course he's fucking not. He's got people tweeting at him and him retweeting them. Lots of people saying, oh, you've really wound a few people up today. Keep going. It's that whole sort of, if you're annoying all the right people, you must be doing something right? Which is a weird attitude to have, isn't it? Oh, it seems to be annoying all the right people. Well, maybe you're just fucking annoying. Maybe you're a dick. So yeah, he's got loads of people tweeting him today. I saw saying, you've really wound a few people up today. Keep going. And he says, they can't take it. They don't like it. But the winning will continue. He says. The winning. That's winning. Is it? Okay. So yes, Konstantin Kissin of the Trigonometry Boys fame. One half of the double act, end of the pier double act that should have got yourself an ITV variety show back in the early 90s. Guys, Konstantin Kissin, please take a bow. You are this week's tap dancing tosser. Woo! Right, guys, that is it for the podcast proper. I will, of course, stick around, as is tradition. I'll stick around for the lock-in now for a little bit, where we do a little bit of Q&A. We break it down a little bit. We put on some music, don't we? But then I must retire to the boudoir, as we have our Patreon meetup tomorrow. We do these periodically. If you're not on the Patreon, you haven't signed up, joined the channel, you can do it that way too. Then you're not invited. But yeah, if you are on there, we're all meeting up in London tomorrow, so you can just sort of flick back to the post where there's lots of the information about where we're meeting and what time and all of that. I've got some beers booked ahead of time on ice in a bucket for when we get there, so it's all good. That is tomorrow. If you're not on the Patreon and you're listening to this on catch up, I'll be back next week, hopefully with another Far Right Watch. I don't know if I'm going to do any midweek podcasts for the foreseeable future, because I mentioned this to the patrons and the channel members the other day, but it's just the podcast, basically, I love doing the Friday night show, great, good fun, but the midweek one, I then have to cut it up into clips, and the clips don't do anywhere near as well as the Far Right Watch videos and the other sort of Reform and Farage flavoured stuff, because I pre-write it and make it all really nice. So it makes sense to sort of focus my attention on that a little bit more. But I'm going to carry on doing the pods, don't worry. And I probably will spaff out a midweek one here and there. But you might find that they are a little bit rarer going forward, because it is, I've only got so many hours of the day. Full-time job, 2 kids, you get the idea. Right, that's it for the podcast. Until next time, keep it booge, keep it influencer. Let's wind it down for the lock-in. I can stop recording now, can't I? Here we go.